So this is the first week of April 2022. I will start with the warfare updates. As you know, there's Russia versus Ukraine cyber warfare going on. Anonymous released around 50 GB of data dump allegedly stolen from the Russian Orthodox Church. And essentially, as you know, what they're doing is they're trying to hack anyone who supports Russia. This includes some of the government websites, high-end officials, and the local streaming sites, and they are doing pro-Ukraine messaging there. What they have also done is they have hacked a Russian investment firm called Marathon Group, and they also compromise WordPress sites to deploy a script that is used to launch DDoS attacks when somebody visits that website. Okay, so they are absolutely trying to go against Russia in the online world. On the other hand, US, who's supporting Ukraine, they also released a joint briefing by various departments, and they confirmed that they have taken down a botnet which is supposedly controlled by the GRU intelligence arm of Russian military, and this group has been known as Sandworm. And if you search on them, they are this is not their first attack. They have been known to be part of multiple attacks that have happened in the US or other parts of the world. Okay, they use a malware called Cyclops Blink, and this malware essentially started appearing in June 2019. And in this particular press release, what the Department of Justice in US said that they have shut down the devices that were hacked by this group. These firewalls, they were essentially firewall devices which are meant for securing the infrastructure of companies, and the Sandworm group hacked them, and they were acting as the command and control, which is essentially a place from where the remote systems that are hacked or infected by the malicious software, they are managed. So by cutting the CNC servers, the infected host can't send any data. So the DOJ hasn't done anything on the endpoints that are infected, but they have cut the head of the entire infrastructure which was collecting all that data. Okay, so this is a quite common strategy in this. Now also on the China side, what has been come to news is that they've been hacking Indian power grids or assets used by Indian power grids, and essentially this is a group called Red Echo, and linked to the People's Liberation Army of China and the Ministry of State Security. And they have multiple groups who are involved in the espionage game. They're using a software called Shadowpad, which is essentially a backdoor, and backdoor means that it gets installed silently in the system, and it starts collecting data, recording screenshots, and keeps on uploading it to the configured systems. And this is actually a privately sold malware in Chinese cyber hacking forums. Very popular, used by multiple groups in the PLA, which when there are commercial softwares that are very good, a lot of people don't need to code, and that's helping this malware to grow. It has been used on popular attacks in the past, like NetSarang or CCClear and ASUS. And the objective of this attack is to gather intelligence related to critical infrastructure, right? So as you know, in India we have power grids, and they are trying to attack any power grids or infrastructure of the power grids. And this time they have done it in northern part of India. It started in September last year, as per the research agency that has done the press release. And they hacked 7 load dispatch centers, which are because we're close to Tibet. And of course the objective of this is to use any information that's can be used later for attacking, doing a serious damage. Right now it was all information collection. Okay, and I'm sure there are more things that will be highlighted as further investigation is done. In the next news, what also has come to light is that there is a Hamas-linked hacker group. They are attacking or targeting high-ranking Israelis using the catfish lures, and essentially what that means is they would create fake Facebook accounts with the idea of good-looking women, and they would target these high-profile Israeli targets, and from chat conversations they move to WhatsApp conversations, and which is they get in their personal mobile numbers, and then what they do is they start they ask them to install a particular app which starts capturing the data, and then they also send some zipped or RAR files containing intimate videos, and once that happens, the victim opens the file, and his system gets infected, and there's a backdoor. Okay, so this is essentially use of sophisticated software along with social engineering. Social engineering is using social skills to lure your victims, and they are targeting Windows and Android device, and with the simple objective is to extract information from victims, and these victims typically work for sensitive agencies like defense, law enforcement, and emergency services organizations, right? So they are using a mix of everything to do espionage. Now these tactics are not new. They have been used in history all across. What's changing is they are using both, right? So using their baiting combined with sophisticated software makes their life easy. And then on the other news, specific to threat actor, as I've been covering, Lapsus has been very active. In the UK, 2 teenagers were charged out of a group of 7 that were arrested. And there were multiple counts of unauthorized access, fraud, and other charges that they've placed. But looks like the group is active, so we don't know how big the group is yet. Okay. As soon as they were arrested, people thought this is the end of the group, but it didn't do any damage to the group. Looks like they leaked 70 GB data of a company called Globant. Globant is an IT services company, and in this dump they shared folders and also the login time password of some of their websites based on a product called Atlassian. And if you look at the screenshots, it covers some of the very popular names of the of the tech group. Okay, also some pharma companies, etc. So I don't think they're down yet, because in today's world it's very easy to make groups online, and some of these countries would not even support extradition. Okay, so people can come together. That's the way it has happened in Anonymous. Okay. Also, a new attack was found, which was using connected UPS, and what these did is, because these UPSs are used in mission critical environment, and they are safeguarding the critical infrastructure. So what this attack used was simply the default username password. So these are the passwords that come when the product gets created, and most admins forget to change them, and that's how hackers were able to get it. And this is currently being investigated, and a lot of information might not come out, but what this means is, if you are on a device which is connected to IT systems of a critical infrastructure setup, and it gets hacked, it's not good. Okay, so now in terms of the critical vulnerabilities, so there are a lot of vulnerabilities reported every week, but 2 critical things happened earlier. One is there's a vulnerability which is called springshell or spring shell by some researchers, and this vulnerability is found in something called a Spring framework, which is used to develop Java-based enterprise applications, and very popularly used for web-based applications. These applications accessible through browser. Some labs have even claimed that there are around 74% of these applications that use Spring as a platform to develop applications. So this is a remote code execution, RC as we call it, attack, and right now it's under investigation. There are very limited exploit methods available. There are some POC codes, but I'm sure there are more, because this is very recent. We'll learn more. If you remember the log4j exploit, it took some days and some weeks of research to come up with all the possible combinations, and right now what organizations should do is they should look for all systems that are using this particular version which is vulnerable. Spring has released the patches, so please patch your systems and make sure you are aware of your attack service, which is knowing number of applications or systems that have this particular version involved. Now this is a NIST recommended guideline. Identification, knowing your attack surface, knowing who can get in, how they can get in, is very important if you want to safeguard your infrastructure. In terms of other vulnerabilities, a company called Rockwell, very popular in the industrial side. Their PLC have programmable logic controllers and their engineering workstation software. There were vulnerabilities reported in that, and which means hackers can control industrial manufacturing systems and disrupt the operations. Okay. So as you know, there are various types of hackers, like nation states who typically go after cyber espionage and taking the infrastructure down, and any of these hackers can disrupt the manufacturing operations of any business. So be careful on that. If you are using Rockwell or some other company, just make sure that you are updated on what vulnerabilities are there. Okay. Also in the recent attack, there is a play to earn game called Wonderhero, which is currently down because around 320,000 worth of Binance coins were stolen. And what they did is the Wonderhero's own coin WND, it was also down by almost 90%, and the hackers essentially exploited an attack called as a cross-chain bridge, or also called as blockchain bridge, in which people can transfer token assets, smart contract instructions and data between blockchains. Now blockchains itself have been secure, but inter-blockchain exchanges have been prone to hacks, and as this is still an evolving technology, I'm sure hackers can find ways to get in and exploit and steal. So be careful. Wonderhero is working to find the fixes. They have also promised to compensate all the liquidity providers, as well as they are also planning to create a bug bounty program to identify other issues in their infrastructure, right? So be careful while you are investing your hard-earned money in anything that is lucrative. And, if you don't understand cryptocurrency, please don't play with it, right? Also, one university in North Carolina called AT&T University has been hit by ransomware. And the services are down for students, and this group is known since last 1 year, and what's happening is they are claiming that they have stolen personal information of students, like social security numbers, teaching staff information, and they have stolen contracts, financial information, database dumps, email databases, all that. Okay, and I'm sure right now the university would be negotiating with the hackers to give them their data back. But what's really happening is the ransomware gangs or cyber criminals, they are going after organizations that are not that secure. So most enterprises are heavily guarded, but universities, hospitals, they are not guarded. Okay, legal companies are not as guarded in terms of cybersecurity. So that's why these cyber criminals are going after easier victims. Okay. Also, in terms of other updates, there is a new version of PCI, which is version 4.0, and it has updates based on emerging threats and technologies. And what it does is essentially takes feedback from all the 200 members, and those feedbacks have been incorporated in this latest version. So this is applicable for anybody who's part of the PCI compliance or payment card industry compliance, right? And Also, there earlier this week, the MITRE attack evaluation came out, and for 2022. And what MITRE is a non-profit organization. What they do is they evaluate security vendors to protect against specific threats. So they gave two scenarios. One was the Wizards spider attack. Other was based on Sandworm group. And these are very popular and sophisticated group. As I mentioned, Sandworm earlier also. This is the group that's part of the GRU intelligence unit from Russia. And what happens in these tests is that vendors' products are put through a controlled environment based on these threats, and 30 vendors were evaluated. Take a look at the website of MITRE. This specific project is called MITRE Ingenuity. So just Google MITRE Ingenuity, and any product that you want to check, just check their scores. So this is a simulated environment, and products are given a score based on how they perform in these sophisticated attacks. Okay, so that's it for today. I will be recording both English and Hindi version for this podcast, so listen to whatever version you like. I like the idea of having a bilingual content. People from various regions across the world can study and learn more. That's the objective. And as always, takeaways: only use softwares and that you are popular and known. Don't open attachments that you don't expect. Don't buy pirated CAD software. Keep your software updated and keep learning. Okay, that I'll see you next time.